too, so I don't forget something. I've been known to, I'll ramble a little and go around that block and try to get to that answer or that topic. But I'm Dan Knowles. I want to be your next sheriff of Bartow County. Tell you about myself. I moved here when I was 12. My dad worked at Chemical Products, my mother at the Daily Tribune, and my dad was working there since the early mid-70s, so it was just time to move from Rome to here. You know, that was when that first gas crunch came along, so it was time to get closer to work. I'm a graduate of Cass High School. I too, like Steve, started dating my future wife when I was in 10th grade. You're going to stand up. I'm going to show you all. This is my wife, Vicki, and I did marry up. I just said it publicly. I just earned some brownie points. She dressed me today. A little subliminal advertising. This is Sheriff Department Brown. Just remember that. We have 3 daughters. Our oldest is married with so we have 2 grandkids, and I have a daughter in college. Where, as a matter of fact, she just finished this week her first year of college, and our youngest daughter is a junior at Woodland High School. So make sure you go to the show. Little Shop of Horrors. She's the lead in Little Shop of Horrors, so that's my retirement waiting to happen. But again, I moved here when I was 12. Other than being when I went in the Army and went away, 8 years later I returned home. And you know, when I first moved here as a 12-year-old, it was horrible over here. I left all my friends in Rome and went from a brand new school to what used to be the old Cass High School now. And but I hated it, but I learned to love it. I love living here, and I want to be part more of what happens in this community. Education-wise, I have a criminal justice associates from Floyd College, now Georgia Highlands. I'm also on the alumni board there. And I also have a bachelor's degree in management at Shorter, now Shorter University. Again, I went in the Army not too long after high school. I spent a year at Georgia Tech and then went in the Army. And then into the Army Guard, and now in the Air Guard, and I'm an Air Force First Sergeant. And I take that job very pridefully. I see Mr. Hayden here smiling. He's the military man in the room. That's another reason my sign is red, white, and blue. It matches real well. And the integrity first, that comes from the Air Force. If you make all your choices, all your decisions on that integrity first, then there's no question about what you do. There's nothing to question. That's it, integrity. Making that right choice, whether it's politically correct or not, because it's the right thing to do. I've been in law enforcement now 20 years. I started with the Augusta Police Department after I got out of the Army, moved back home, started working with the Floyd County Police Department, Mr. Holy, and then was hired by Cobb County Schools to be a resource officer, and then 7 years ago, it went fast, 7 years ago, I was hired as the Chief of Police for the Bartow County School System. So every day, I have almost 14,000 kids that I'm responsible for. That means 28,000 parents, 56,000 grandparents, and all the traffic to go with it. So if you come by Cass High School this week in the mornings, you'll see me. That's me waving my arms in the road. And so please be slow and easy. But there's several things I want to see from the Sheriff's Department. I'm a very proactive, what's the word? Not I'm say positive, but thinking ahead. I'm a very thinking ahead planner as far as the law enforcement and my business goes. And there's things that I see that Bartow County needs to move up to with all these elections that are open in this county. July 31st is the most important election for this county in a long time, because you can change the whole face of Bartow County. Bartow County is moving from that small rural community to a suburb of Atlanta. And with these, these fine folks running for county commissioner, people ask me how I want to vote. I don't know. They're all great folks. It's going to be tough to make that choice in the ballot box. Tax commissioner, and then you got Miss Melba here running for clerk of court. The whole face of Bartow County can change, and I want to be part of that new change. And one of the things I want to see from the Sheriff's Department is that community connection. There's 100,000 people in Bartow County. That's 200,000 eyes. There's only so many law enforcement. So I want to bring that community in to the law enforcement environment to help us make a difference here. There's, everybody knows there's a meth problem. We all know it. It's everywhere. It's affected my own family because it does bad things to good people. And we need to do everything we can to move that element from Bartow County. Not only just from putting people in jail, a lot of times that's not the answer, because you got to change that lifestyle. Putting them in jail may just, you get the recidivism. You know, let's look at education. Let's look at programs to build these folks as positive citizens back in our community, and let the sheriff's department be a lead in that. Because it's a burden on us, it's a burden on the taxpayer and on the sheriff's department to house those folks. You know, that may not be the answer. Some of them do. You know, to me, if they're making it and dealing it, let's put them on the bottom floor of the jail or even under the jail if we have to. You know, but those individual users, they need our help. They need our support. And again, a lot of times serving in jail is not what that answer is. I want to have community forums. You know, let's have meetings like this once a month or once a quarter where I will come out to your community and you tell me what you see in your community. I'm going to use it as a dog and pony show for the sheriff's department too, to say, this is what we're doing. I want you to know what's going on. We don't need to be secretive with our community. You know, you should be able to go social media. I mean, that's the age now. The social, you know, that's probably what they'll read in the history books about us in the 2000s. They'll call it the age of social media. And so let's use that. Now, I will say the sheriff's department as of January has a Facebook page, and it has become very positive for them. Now, some people call it a coincidence that I announced, and one of the things I'm talking about is social media for the sheriff's department, and then there it is. To me, I call it a clue. But let's get folks talking back and forth with us. You know, I don't want that hiding behind the badge. You know, I don't want to have that Gestapo feel. You know, you own us. You're the ones that pay our paychecks. So we need to be working with you and for you. I want a Scared Straight program. Working with those kids every day, I see those kids right on that edge that have no idea what their choices that they're doing, how it would change their life forever. And so I want to have that Scared Straight program in a coordination with our businesses and our courts and our school system to show them what their decisions can lead to. One of the best ones I've looked into was a 4-day program that did the jail, the hospital ER on a Friday night, the courtroom itself to show how their buddies will roll on them, will dime them out. You know, they won't be their friends when they're sitting up on that witness stand facing jail themselves. And the best part, I thought, they went to the funeral home and they had the parents plan that kid's funeral with the kid standing in the corner. You know, because that's what it'll lead to, getting into these drugs and making those choices. You know, none of us want to see our children get hurt or definitely not killed. So let's do everything we can. That's our important asset. It's not, you know, it's not the ore mines, it's not the carpet mills. Our most important asset are our kids. And that's what we need to bring to the table to keep those folks from making those bad choices. As you can see, I'm a proactive thinker, I'm a proactive police officer. Let's go hunt that element. Let's drive it away. Everybody says, you know, I've had folks say, well, you're just saying making them move, they're gonna go somewhere else. And then that's right. My job would be Bartow County. If I drive them out of Bartow County, they can go to Cherokee County, they can go to Floyd County. I don't really care, they're just not in my community. Yeah. Now, I'll assist those folks, you know, it's a whole family, you know, from county to county, because we do have those jurisdiction lines, but we need to work together. But my job is Bartow County. And it's my job to make it a better community. Let's get your property values back up because we have a lower crime rate. I want a selective enforcement unit, and if you look up the definition, it's not really what I'm talking about. Selective enforcement means I want to take a group of folks, and wherever it may be happening, whatever it is, if your neighborhood's getting burglarized, then you'll see extra cars out there because they're not walking those TVs out. They're not carrying them out down the street. They're putting them in their cars. 90% of crime is mobile. So, I'm not saying we're going to have out there and have traffic Nazis and write everybody tickets. I'm talking about hunting for those folks that are stealing from you.